So it's your boy Young Wabi once again, Revolutionary Black Panther Party. Just going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a brief history of the Kikuyu people, the Kikuyu nation. Kikuyu, first off, stands for sycamore tree. The sycamore tree was held sacred to the Kikuyu. I believe it's because when you see a sycamore tree, usually it's by a water source, but so it symbolizes life, and I guess it gives you the inclination that you're gonna have, prosperous harvesting season. They did their diet did mostly consist of black beans. They grew a lot of black beans in that area. They had 4 seasons. They had Mbura E Njahi, which is a season of big rain. They had Magetha Ma Njahi, which is the black bean harvest. They had Mbura E Mweri, which is a season of short rain. And they had the 4th season, which is Mbura Ya Kimera, which is another harvesting season for them. The Kikuyu held on to the traditional Kikuyu spiritual system, which you do see similarities with other indigenous spiritual systems of Africa, with the reincarnation through ancestors, and reincarnation of the ancestors through descendants, and of course reverence of ancestors, and the universe being composed of interacting and interconnected forces, meaning that everything is connected and everything is part and parcel of God. So according to Kikuyu, the earlier you manifested to this planet, the stronger your force was, the stronger your connection was to God. And they did use animals to symbolize their level of vital force compared to other humans. So to demonstrate the similarities, like I said, about the animal symbolizations or symbolisms, the ancient Kemites also use animal symbolisms. When you see a heru, when you see the jackal and all these different animal concepts, I believe it's called either anamorphism or anthropomorphism. But the Kikuyu people, once again, Kikuyu does mean sycamore tree, right? So I'm trying to break it down to you to show you the similarities between the Kemetic spiritual systems and the Kikuyu one. So for one, you had the law of truth that the Kikuyu people held to, which is called Ma'a. And you had the law of truth, which the Kemites held to, which was called Ma'at. So you have Ma'a in Kikuyu, Ma'at in Kemet. You also have Tehuti in Kemet. You have Kahutu, which is justice in the Kikuyu. In Kemet, a sycamore stick was used to draw energy from the gods, or to communicate with the gods. It would give you a better, I guess, a more clearer communication with the gods if you held onto a sycamore tree stick. So you see that the Kemites held the sycamore tree sacred, and the Kikuyus held them sacred as well. They named themselves sycamore. The Kikuyu resided in central Kenya. Mount Kenya is like their central location. The Kikuyu thrived from the 15th century up until 1920, when they were finally subdued by the British colonialists. But throughout this whole time, even when the Arab invaders were during their Arab slave trade, they knew not, it was well known amongst the Arabs not to go into Kikuyu territory, because every time that they went into Kikuyu territory, they were met with instant death. So the Kikuyu people were very feared across the Eastern Hemisphere. The Kikuyu people held yeah, the Kikuyu people were also where David Kamathi descends from, which is interesting, right? You see that David Kamathi led the Mau Mau insurrection, the Mau Mau revolution, the Mau Mau fight against the British colonialists in 1952. So you have David Kamathi, who was the descendant of the Kikuyu, uh, having leading this fight against the Europeans. They eventually lost the next year in 1953. But 6 years later, I believe, actually in 1963, the country of Kenya declared their independence. So even though they lost that battle, the war eventually was won. I guess it was an influence. It influenced the people to continue the fight. Um, but yeah, the Kikuyu people, they held on to their indigenous faiths all the way up until British colonialism. Of course, when the Europeans came with their guns and Bibles, um, yeah, they converted a lot of the Kikuyu people after they defeated them in 1920 and took their land and made them work on the land that they used to own as tillers and sharecroppers. But once again, eventually the Kikuyu people would rise back up and take back what's theirs. And today, the Kikuyu people are the majority, as they were before, in Kenya. Um, it is Kikuyu is an ethnic group. It's a Bantu ethnic group. Bantu ethnic group is one of the many ethnic groups that you find in Africa, but it is also one of the many ethnic groups in Southeast Africa. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little brief rundown about the Kikuyu people. Great brothers and sisters, great warriors that must be remembered. And I'm gonna show you a picture of David Kamathi and Jomo Kenyatta together right here, so you can you can see the brothers. You can pay them the respects that they deserve for fighting and dying for our people. Black power and peace and prosperity to all those watching the video. I'm out. Oh yeah. One more thing. Your boy's still having a lecture on the 12th, and the Church of African Science and History still going down on the 15th, which is Tuesday, 11 to 12. And so far we have a couple of people that are saying that they're going to show up. We have about maybe 9 people so far that said they're going to show up. So I mean, and they say they're going to, a few of them say they're going to bring people with them. So it looks good. Even if nobody shows up, I'm gonna show up. So just best believe your boy's gonna be there. It looks like it's gonna be a good showing. I'm confident that there's gonna be a lot of people there. I'm gonna have to bring the food and drinks and everything. Your boy gonna have this RBG flag ready, up and running. So make sure y'all go over there and attend that. Show your support for the cause.